Shoal. Four other Chinese vessels were spotted in the Ayungin Shoal. As soon as it entered the Sabina Shoal's airspace, it received this message from a Chinese vessel.
We are endangering the security of the Chinese rig. Immediately and keep foul so as to avoid any misunderstanding.
While the PCG provided no recording of their response, they said they ordered the Chinese vessel to leave the area. Aside from the radio challenge, passengers of the PCG flight also received a roaming text alert that read, "Welcome to China." The PCG says this just goes to show that China still does not respect Philippines' claim over the territory.
Ito ay nagpapakita rin na hanggang ngayon ini-ignore nila ang ating legal ownership ng exclusive economic zone natin sa Ayungin Shoal. We are intensifying our presence there. But for the Philippine Coast Guard, the Commandant has expressed his commitment to support our presence by deploying one offshore patrol vessel and 144 MRV vessel.
Members of the European Parliament visited detained former Senator Laila de Lima. 18 delegates of the body's Subcommittee on Human Rights arrived at Camp Crame on Thursday. They checked on de Lima's condition in jail exactly 6 years after she was arrested over drug charges. After that, the European delegates made a courtesy call to Justice Secretary Boying Remulla. They discussed several issues, including the International Criminal Court's probe into the drug war.
Ang sabi ko lang doon, inaayos na rin namin ang sistema. Kung may problema talaga ang ICC na gusto imbestigahan dito, ibigay na lang sa amin, kami na ang gagawa. Kasi yan, these are crimes committed in the Philippines by Filipinos, di ba? Kami na lang ang gagawa, hindi na sila humirit.
Today, February 24, 2023 has been declared a special non-working holiday in commemoration of the EDSA People Power Revolution. The country is celebrating the 37th anniversary of the revolution that ended decades-long rule of former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. In Proclamation Number 167, President Bongbong Marcos noted that a special non-working day is declared, quote, to enable our countrymen to avail of the benefits of a longer weekend, pursuant to their principles of holiday economics. This provided that the historical significance of the People Power anniversary is maintained. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here in One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Authorities seized smuggled sugar worth 27.3 million pesos. The Agriculture Department said the agency and its partners apprehended 11 container vans in a series of operations. The shipments, initially declared as motorcycle spare parts, were consigned to Kanluran Consumer Goods. The DA says it will file charges against the consignee for violating the Food Safety Law and Anti-Agricultural Smuggling Act. 8 bills legalizing divorce in the country have been approved in principle by the House Committee on Population and Family Relations. Albay Representative Edsel Agman explained that the measures are only approved in principle amid the need to consolidate them into one bill. Lagman, who sponsored one of the bills, will head the technical working group in charge of consolidation. Once consolidated, the bill will be submitted to the plenary. The divorce bill aims to make the separation process more affordable and streamlined for a couple.
Actual divorce is urgently necessary in exceptional cases for couples in inordinately toxic and irreparably dysfunctional marriages, particularly the wives who are abused or abandoned. The state has the responsibility of rescuing couples and their children from a house on fire.
Meanwhile, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, expressed its strong opposition to the bills. The Philippines and the Vatican are the only countries in the world that have not legalized divorce.
I'd like to emphasize that we are not supportive of the bill on absolute divorce. I submitted the position paper to the Committee on the Family and Population and Family Relations.
MTRCB officials told senators that the agency no longer has to ban the controversial Hollywood film Plane, as distributors have agreed to pull out the movie. Meanwhile, the MTRCB also expressed approval of proposals to expand the scope of their mandate to include online streaming platforms. Ian Los Baños with the details.
No, pumapalakpak ka, bawal dito. This is my hearing.
Senator Robin Padilla lost his cool during a Senate hearing when the discussion centered on Hollywood film Plane. In the hearing, Senator Grace Poe argued that films like Plane are only fictional and should not be banned just because they hurt some of our institutions.
Meron naman tayong mga pantapat dyan. At katulad nga na sinabi nyo, itong si 300 na aktor dito sa pelikulang Plane, meron din siyang ginawang London Has Fallen, o parang gano'n na pelikula. Akala mo parang mga inutil rin yung mga security forces dyan sa UK, di ba? But you know, that's not necessarily true.
Directors Guild of the Philippines President Edward Mayley applauded Poe's statement, but Senator Padilla was offended.
Maaring sa iyo, nakakapalakpak kayo. Pero kami, sa mga Muslim, hindi kami kailangan magpapalakpak. The Muslims will never accept that this movie.
The Directors Guild of the Philippines earlier released a statement opposing the movie's ban, saying it should be allowed in cinemas to invite open debate among viewers. MTRCB Chairman Lala Soto Antonio said her agency has immediately contacted the film's distributor over Padilla's concerns, but she clarified that they do not have to ban the film anymore as the distributor voluntarily pulled the movie out.
It means you will not be able to watch it anymore in the country because, again, I reiterate, I'm glad that the distributor was very cooperative.
Also during the hearing, senators also discussed supposedly pornographic content of some videos on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and other online platforms. Poe complained about YouTube having a lack of representatives here in the country to answer the complaints about its content.
Paano natin yan mapipigilan? Meron bang direct communication ang YouTube office dito sa Pilipinas o lahat or wala?
Sa kasalukuyan po, wala po kaming access. But we will assert kapag kinakailangan.
The MTRCB says it supports bills to expand its mandate to cover subscription video on-demand service providers like Netflix, Disney Plus, and HBO Max or Viva Max. While they admit that they could not monitor all movies in these platforms, they can at least address complaints.
Hindi po ibig sabihin na kapag kami po ay humihingi ng expansion to our mandate as to the scope, ay ire-review ang lahat ng mga online streaming na pelikula. Wala po kami sinasabing ganon. That is humanly impossible for us to do. What we want is a form of monitoring when we can just post-review sa pamamagitan ng pag-entertain ng mga concerns.
Soto Antonio also revealed that a memorandum of agreement has been signed between the agency and Filipino streaming platform Viva Max. Under the agreement, Viva Max vowed to conform to MTRCB's classification system as they continue to self-regulate. A liaison officer will also be assigned to receive any complaints from the MTRCB. Soto meanwhile clarifies that they do not wish to cover user-generated content on YouTube and other platforms like TikTok. But if these will be placed under their mandate, then the agency would need additional manpower and budget. For some groups, there is no need to expand the coverage of MTRCB, and what should be encouraged instead is self-regulation.
Dapat talaga buwagin na yung MTRCB. Our position is to leave it as is. If we're talking about Philippine values, I think one of our major values is freedom of expression, and it is in the Constitution, which it is in the constitutional Bill of Rights.
But Soto Antonio defends the importance of the MTRCB to make sure that Filipino values are being promoted in movies and TV shows. Reporting for News 5, Mean Los Baños, we are One News.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register an account now at signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.